What's up, y'all? It's your boy OXY back with another video, and you already see the title. You already know how we do things. Let's just get straight into it. So a couple quick updates just in terms of not only my journey, but also just in the Crump world that I've just seen to be really, really cool. First, shout out to the KCS. They have been on top of not only the tournaments and providing another space for people to start to push themselves, get themselves into more opportunities with those tournaments that they're doing, but they also just recently started to do a bounty system. So that means that, you know, people can actually battle and get paid if they win for taking a bounty. So I really, really like the concept and idea. I obviously haven't jumped into trying to take any bounties just yet. Not only is it a cool idea, but I think it's gonna make Crump a lot more on not only the competitive nature, but it's also gonna make it a little bit more fun because again, the KCS making this a system where you really gotta push yourself. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of battles that are happening. There has been so far since the bounty system dropped that like we didn't expect that were gonna pop off, and it's been looking great so far. So shout out to the KCS. Secondly, as I have already shown you, we got some new merch that is starting to drop. I just got all the samples that I needed to really start to push the website. So now we got that part done. I already finished one program. I'm finalizing a couple little tweaks on the other two, but I think I might drop the site before I actually finish those up, so you guys can already start to take your pick on some of the great stuff that we have for the Agents of Crump. So I do eventually want to talk a little bit more about it, but I will wait until the site drops so that you guys can kind of see a lot of the opportunities that we have. But this right here is probably my favorite shirt that I made so far, which is the, come on, you can crump better than that. And then on the back says, right. And then I also got, like, you know, some of the logos on the sleeves. So it's a really cool all over like shirt. So I like it. I'm definitely going to be sessioning with it a lot. So you will be seeing this shirt and many more designs that I have just waiting to get up as well. So super, super excited for that. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into our topic. Have you ever experienced the feeling of hitting moves? You're knowing that those moves are hitting, but after you get done with those moves, it feels like you kind of have like this dead weight before you kind of build it up. It's kind of like that stop and go traffic. So today we are actually going to be talking about how to flow through your transitions. I consider this the secret sauce that kind of just levels up your whole style in general, because it makes it not only readable, digestible, but it also creates that like extra pump that pushes your skill, pushes your craft into a much higher energy. So let's go over how we do that. First, understand what a transition is. Transitions aren't necessarily the gap between moves. It's actually a move itself. Think like water, all right? Bruce Lee style. Think like a river that flows. The only way that it stops is if there's a dam. So there are no random pauses, and all the smaller movements that you do make the bigger movements matter so much more. So to understand this, you have to treat your transitions with the same intended energy like you treat your cooler moves and your crazier ideas. Second, timing is your best friend. One of the biggest killers of flow is rushing. Transitions need breathing room. They need moments that can stretch, shrink, adapt, bring more to those bigger moves that you're making. Not every move needs to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. Like sometimes even you taking that and melting into your next is solid transition work. One thing that I do to kind of help me in this area is to practice slow motion drills. So just practicing how you connect the dots better. Number 3, make the space in between your moves intentional. So instead of thinking about what do I do next, think about how naturally your body wants to move into the next move. Your arms, legs, chest, they should all have a reason to why they're going where they're going. For example, don't just come from a low angle or a low squat straight into a high pose and kind of just sitting in. Like, create a moment It's kind of like a movie scene. Like if I was to come from one space to the next, I want to feel like the build that happened is all intentional. A good way of thinking about transitions, it's like the character development in between the action scenes. Okay, so you see like how my moves can create moments. They're really big, but how that move develops you is within your transitions before you move on to the next. So your get off could be one way within your character in your zone. You hit a move and that character should feel like it shifts. Maybe your get off shifts before you move over to the next move. Number 4, practice transitional drills. And I got a perfect exercise for you guys. So take two of any of your favorite moves, just 2. And practice going from move A to move B for 10 minutes. That means no matter what the song is that you're using, no matter what is your vibe that you're on, practice for 10 minutes just going from point A to point B. Start with your natural movement and then start to switch things up. So with levels, with slides, with adjusting the speed, and just making it from point A to point B. So let's say that my 2 moves are a pose and a power move. So the pose is this one right here. So bang, I want to hit this first. And the move that I want to go to is probably going to be a throw that like comes from right here. So like bam. Let's just say those 2 moves. I'm going for 10 minutes. I'm going to practice how my body takes it. And I'm going to do it again, 10 minutes. Just from point A to point B. Bang. Boom, 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 boom. Like I'm just going for 10 minutes just trying to see how many ways I can go from point A to point B. When you focus on that connection point, like when your brain doesn't have to process so much information and just taking this, it is going to naturally fill in the gap. And it's going to make it to where you don't have to rush. You won't have to feel out of place. It is going to help you feel more natural in your movement overall. Number 5, which is probably going to be the hardest one for a lot of people. Practice to songs without hitting any moves. I know it sounds crazy, but again, like I said, hear me out. So without actually trying to hit anything, just move freely within shapes, levels, energies, textures. Just move. Don't hit anything, just move. This is going to remove the pressure that you have when it comes to building your ideas, and it's going to now make your natural movement show throughout the song. Certain moves make you want to feel a certain way, and that way that you move could be your natural movement that you need to build those transitions. Then after you do that, run the songs back, and then I want you to take your signature moves, your ideas, your actual hits, and I want you to try and do that within the flow that you just created. A lot of people get surprised with the difference of how they move after they've tried this exercise. Now remember, anybody can hit moves, but not a lot of people can transition like a boss. Bam! So with that, I'm actually gonna give you guys a challenge. Yes, I know, I'm usually answering questions and labbing on my own stuff, but I actually have a challenge for you guys. For this week, I want you to go into one session. If you're not going to an actual session, I want you to session at least once at home, and I want you to just try hitting no moves, hitting none of the crazy stuff, just moving within your natural state, within the music that you're hearing. Just practice that. I promise you, your flow is going to change, and the way that you transition is going to start having a lot more opportunities for your mind to think and connect. This is without you having to do the crazy, oh, I'm hitting with the music, and just slow it down, flow throughout the song, Try to see how your energy responds to the music. And then after you're done with that session, have at it. See how you feel. Watch how different you feel, I promise. So before I go, comment below. Dang, that rhymed. Bars. What transition tip helped you out the most? What actually spoke to you? And feel free to let me know what else you want to work on, okay? And as always, if you want more, check out that video, because you can crumb better than that, right?